The following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
Just about set for the 67th edition of the Hawkeyes and the Buckeyes. Before we kick, we go to the third member of our team on the field, Jenny Dell. Jenny?
Well, Caleb Johnson grew up about 100 miles away from here in Hamilton, Ohio. And today represents a dream scenario for the Hawkeye, an opportunity to beat the Ohio State Buckeyes. You see, Caleb told me Hamilton is a part of the state where people either love Ohio State or they hate them. Caleb is the latter, telling me even if the Buckeyes had offered him a scholarship, he would have turned it down. Now, Johnson is a man on a mission here, saying, I'm entering with a chip on my shoulder no matter what because it's O State, and I want to beat them. I don't want to play with them. I want to beat them. Well, Ohio State players caught wind of that messaging, and defensive end Jack Sawyer said it came across as a little challenge of the Buckeyes' physicality. Guy Sawyer said Johnson's comments, not a smart thing to do.
Jack, I think, built it up more than it was worth, but he doesn't need much incentive out there, I don't think.
Why not, though, right?
Yep, whatever works.
The thing is, you know, if you got the tailback position against Ohio State, they're coming after you no matter what.
Exactly. Kirk Ferentz going after his 200th Big Ten win here today in his 26th season. On the other side, Ryan Day, 6th year, already 60 wins. 54-8 in non-bowl games, and a 43-0 record against unranked teams, which Iowa is coming in today. You couldn't ask for a better day in Central Ohio. I don't mean to sound like a weatherman or working for the Chamber of Commerce, but it's sunny and 78. It's gorgeous. Ohio State won the toss. They deferred. Iowa will receive. Jaden Fielding will kick off. Caden Weegan back deep. Ohio State owns this 48-15-3. And the last meeting was in 2022. Ohio State won here at home 54-10. I was hoping for something different today. Big time, Big Ten, big crowd. Perfect day. CBS on hand to bring it to you. As the shoes are off in the shoe. Hopefully they all find their own shoe when it's all over. Jaden Fielding's shoes about ready to hit the ball, and we are underway. Caden Weegan will let it go out the back of the end zone, and the Hawkeyes will bring it out to the 25-yard line. As we take a look our Wayfair starting lineups, and it starts with the guy that Gary talked about, Cade McNamara. 20-5 as a starter, 7-2 at Iowa. Torn ACL a year ago. This season, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's going to have to be better than that. But as Gary said, if he plays like he did when he was at Michigan when he beat Ohio State, that 13 out of 18 game, that might be good enough. Who knows? Because he's got the tailback behind him to do a lot of the work, and a veteran offensive line that we'll show you after this snap. Caleb Johnson. Left side, Caleb goes for about 4. Here's the offensive front. And it's a veteran group. They play a lot of ball together. And the backs and receivers, obviously, Caleb Johnson, the number 2 running back of the country. Luke Lachey, the tight end, an All-American type candidate, back and healthy. And that is a big part of their offense. 2 tight ends in there, in fact, right now on 2nd down and 6, Addison, Ostrenga, and Lachey. They'll keep it on the ground. And this one's going nowhere. Going to be a loss of a yard. Fired up defense. Tyleik Williams, who has missed the last 2 games, has the opening tackle for the Buckeyes. And here is the front, led by Jack Sawyer, the captain. Williams, who just made that tackle. The linebackers, a good group. Cody Simon, another one of the captains. On the back end, Denzel Burke already with a couple of interceptions. A secondary that a lot of people around college football would love to have. So 3rd down at 6. Iowa 45% of their 3rd down conversions so far through a month of the season. McNamara, four-man rush down the middle, got it complete on the fly, and it's Reese Van Der Zee, the freshman receiver, and he's got a first down.
Just enough for this Iowa offense to be able to throw the ball underneath, get a zone look for the Buckeyes in the secondary. Nice protection, not having to hold the ball too long. Third and medium would be nice for Iowa. They don't want those early sacks or early loss of yardage.
So first down at the 40. That's Large, the fullback H-back, who's going to come up and lead the way for Johnson, who got a couple, maybe three. Again, Ohio State, they come in giving up only 62 yards rushing on the ground. That's third best in the country. So it's going to be a little bit tough sledding for the #2 running back in the country, Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, he has really broke out, hasn't he? Having a healthy offensive line and a healthy Caleb Johnson is a good formula.
There he is, #2. Giante, Boise State, #1. That's the average per game. That's pretty strong. 171 yards on the ground per game. They fake it to him this time. McNamara slips, sidearms it, and got it complete, but it's going to be a loss of a yard. Luke Lachey made the catch.
So that would have been a good one even if it was incomplete, but able to throw at an angle because you can't lose yards against these guys. Sawyer's coming in on, throw it right under his arm. Like a second baseman or shortstop with the guy sliding at him, only that guy Sawyer doesn't slide.
And he got it right in the face mask too.
Yeah,
after
I wonder if they might look at that. I'll tell you right now, in the NFL, that would have been a penalty, putting your body on a quarterback and slant him to the ground.
So far, no stoppage of play, so I guess we play on. 3rd down and 9. McNamara scanning the field. Sawyer's coming from behind again. He got away. Throws on the run. Man there. Did he trap it? He did not hang on. Weegen had a hand on him and couldn't hold it. It's 4th down.
Boy, and that was a big play waiting for him right there. If this ball would have been thrown properly, he had at least a 35-yard gain right there. That's a big play. You don't get a lot of chances against this Buckeye defense. Watch it. Comes out of the pocket, smartly turns, and then the crossing route, he finds him. 8 yards in the open, underthrows it badly.
That'll bring out the punting unit. Reese Dakin set to kick. And this one's going to roll inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but effective. I think it might have hit the Hawkeye player a little bit farther upfield, maybe the 11 or 12.
So it'll be the Buckeyes on offense for the first time when we come back. I'm always trying to protect the quarterback, especially the one to my right. But I want to go back to that play by Jack Sawyer and bring in Gene Steratore. As you see,
he's in the 10th.
Going the 10th.
Absolutely.
What'd you think of this, Gene, this hit?
You know, I don't think it's targeting, guys. I think the initiated contact is in the chest. I do think there may be a case, though, for body weight on the quarterback. That would be roughing, not a reviewable aspect. Here, I think the contact was okay as it relates to targeting, but there's a lot of body weight on McNamara here, without that defender bracing or something, fellas.
Yep. Thanks, Gene. I agree with you. He's out of the tent, so that's a good sign. Meanwhile, the Buckeyes take over at the 12-yard line after the punt. And on the first carry, it's TreVeyon Henderson for about 4 as we take a look at the Wayfair lineups, starting with the quarterback, Will Howard, the transfer from Kansas State. He's been really good this season, over 1,000 yards, 11 total touchdowns. And he's working with a great cast offensively with the lineup he's got. Here's his first throw out in the flat. Going to be about a yard shy of the first down to Emeka Egbuka. The offense, as Gary said, if there's any kind of question, you kind of look at the line. They've been alternating the right guards, but the good news is they're left guards, an All-American. We missed him earlier in the year when he had a hamstring injury. TreVeyon Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, if you can find a better tailback duo in the country, you know, send me an email or something. And there's the wide receivers and tight ends. 3rd down in the yard. That's TreVeyon Henderson. And he's got a big hole up the middle. blasts his way out for the first down for the Buckeyes.
And they ran it right over that right guard and right tackle that time. Shabula, number 77, and Fryer, 70. Both handle. Look at that. When you run the ball between the defensive ends of Iowa, between those tackles, and you get that kind of space, that is not good news for Iowa.
This isn't good news for anybody trying to stop these two guys. I don't know if I've ever seen statistics that close by two tailbacks. One a transfer from Ole Miss, and Travion Henderson, who's in there right now. It gets the carry, little hesitation run. Only got a couple this time.
That's what Iowa needs to do. They need to be able to play that box and stop that inside run.
And the front guys that'll try to do that. Here's how they look. Aaron Graves leads the Hawkeyes with 3 sacks. Jay Higgins, the All-American linebacker, #1 tackler in the country a year ago. In the back end, there's the safeties and corners.
And keep a look if you want to watch Jay Higgins play. Can Ohio State get a lineman up to him? They protect those linebackers.
They look good. And then in motion, Flair out in the flat to Henderson. Nothing doing. Only got to the line of scrimmage, and Jay Higgins made the stop.
Yeah, nice job here by Sebastian Castro, number 29. He turns it back in to Higgins. Watch to the left side. He did his job, turning it back into that linebacker. That's the whole sequence of this defense for Iowa. Defensive linemen protect them in the linebacker. Corners turn it back in. That's how it works.
3rd down and 7. 49% on the year for Ohio State. Howard outside. Ooh, dangerous throw, but he tucked it in there. And it's a yard shy of the first down. He completes it to Bryson Rogers.
So I think Ohio State might have been a little bit surprised on that. Man-to-man coverage all over the field. You know, this Buckeye team thinks no one can cover us man-to-man. When the ball goes up in the air, the reaction was closer than the throw thought.
The throw was good, man.
I know. It had to be good.
4th down in the yard. Buckeyes will go for it. And whistle.
The line to gain. That play is under further review.
Well, he had to come back to make the catch. He was across the line of scrimmage when he made his turn, and then had to come back for the ball in between 2 defenders. Gary says closer than it looks.
So. I still think, unless the yellow line's off, I think it's still like a half a yard short.
Gene, I don't know if you can see that down the line with us.
I've got a great look right now with that great camera angle, Ness, and I still think I'm with Gary. I think he's short by a quarter of a yard there. I didn't know if he was looking at the catch or not. It's a clean catch. He works himself back. I don't think that's a first down, though. I think it's going to be a little bit short.
So if it is indeed 4th down, Ohio State at least set up to go for it originally. Around their own 42-yard line.
Now remember, they've got a quarterback that's 6'4", 240 pounds.
Yeah, right. The call on the field was short. AT&T Pylon Cam gives us a look down the line, and you can see the chains and the arrow is so close.
It is close, isn't it? There's no doubt.
Jeff Cervinski's again under the tent.
Half a yard might be stretching it if it's short. Might be at least a ball.
After further review, the receiver possessed the football at the 43-yard line, which was the line to gain. 1st down and 10, Ohio State.
All right, there you go, 1st down. That's why they look at him.
We're not going to get the 6'4", 240-pound quarterback.
We will sometime. What a throw, though, to get it out there.
Yeah, and that is where Will really wanted to come here and show what he could do and be an NFL-type quarterback and take a team like Ohio State for a run at the national championship with throws just like that.
Quinshon Judkins behind Howard. He'll get his first carry. Quinshon with a stiff arm and a collision. In the secondary with Xavier Wampa. So here's your other All-American tailback.
Well, it's nice to have one. It's beautiful to have 2. Yep. And you go behind that offensive line. Can you stay on him? Again, right guard. Tiger Shabula does a nice job of taking his man kind of where he wants to go. Tries to climb away from him. He just pushes him out of the way.
Quinn Schulte, the safety, got a mouthful of that stiff arm from Judkins on that run. They fake it to him here and come back the other way. Complete on the run. Kasmeric, the tight end. First down as we check in with Jenny.
Well, Cade McNamara came to the sideline stretching his right leg quad area, went into the 10, then came out and did a few sprints on the sideline, went on the bike for a bit. Now, based on that, you might think he was going through protocol, but everything I see, he was looking at that leg. He told his coach he's good to go, guys.
All right, thanks, Jenny. That's good news for Iowa's offense.
Remember that quad bothered him last year,
Yep.
and cost him part of the season and ended up getting injured worse.
At the 40 of the Hawkeyes. Buckeyes with another first down. Here's a toss to Judkins, trying to get to the edge. Another stiff arm, successful again, and he got about 7.
Well, Chip Kelly is the new offensive coordinator for this Ohio State team, and you can already see the trademark of Chip. He's making you defend the 53 yards of the field.
Yep.
Running wide, pitches, getting the ball between the crease, and
Almost a face man.
yep, just right on the kind of the shoulder.
Kyler Fisher, there's Chip, longtime head coach in both college and the pros, now the offensive coordinator here in Columbus. Howard rips it outside. What a catch. Emeka Egbuka caught the back end of that ball. It had some smoke on it.
So when you talk about this Ohio State wide receivers, I mean, there are NFL teams that would not match up well with the talent right here. These guys are future NFL high draft choices. One-on-one is tough for this Iowa defense. They have to make these catches and not a lot of yards after catch.
There's the other guy, the sensational freshman Jeremiah Smith. Empty backfield. Howard's going to take off with it. Here we'll see the wheels and the size, and he gets it inside the 20. Took a lick there from Deshaun Lee. Going to bring up second down.
Went to number 1, came back to the other side, felt they had to get out of the pocket, and that might not be the way you want to do the slide.
Now, that wasn't very good at the end. He's got 22 touchdowns on the ground in his career between Kansas State and here. He's perfect on this drive. 5 for 5 through the air. And no gain on this one. Judkins stopped at the line of scrimmage to bring up third down.
This is the style of defense Iowa wants to play. They don't want, they want you to go 10, 12 plays, drives, hold you to a field goal, hope that you get a holding penalty, get a sack, something like that. Make everything happen in front of them.
Chip Kelly told us yesterday their theory is we want you to make a mistake before we do.
Exactly. And they're a veteran team that have been doing this for years. They know where their help is and what they can do and what they can't do.
13th play of the drive coming up. The duration's been 7 minutes, as you see there. Third down and 3. And this time it's a first down run. Quinshon Judkins needed 3, got 5.
Well, we question whether that offensive line was going to be physical enough against this stout team. Watch it again. Just kind of clearing that side, blocking down. Fryer does a good job, turns his guy out, and then runs inside of him. First team all Big Ten.
So Judkins got the first down. He'll get the breather. Travion Henderson back behind Howard in the pistol set. They faked it to him on the roll. The throw to the end zone is a touchdown. Ohio State. Emeka Egbuka. 14 yards on the scoring toss.
Condensed formation. Those wide receivers are in a short split. Puts a lot of pressure on those zone coverages. Was with the bootleg. Here he is right here. He's going to come up, just running out, and another perfect throw. Man-to-man, get him on the safety. That's a nice spot to have big on that guy. But the ball was placed right there.
Jaden Fielding in for the point after. Up and good.
Nice way to start.
Boy,
14-play drive. Do everything right the whole drive.
Including Will Howard, who was perfect, 6 for 6 on that 88-yard march in 14 plays, including his 9th touchdown pass of the year to number 2. The captain and the leader of the wide receiver corps for the Buckeyes. 7-0 Ohio State. Eye-opening graphic for you. It's been 2 years since Iowa gave up a touchdown on the opening drive to their opposition. Michigan 2 years ago. 27 games, and Ohio State just took it the length of the field. It took 7.5 minutes and 88 yards. Packed house today. including our buddy Clark Kellogg and his wife Rosie. Special K, good to see you, and the missus.
How about we have dinner with him Thursday, and he laid on us that he was 51-24 in the state championship for high school. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not a bad double-double. 51-24.
And they lost.
You didn't have to add that part.
Yeah.
Jaden Fielding who hit the extra point, set to kick away. Caden Weegan, Max White, the deep man. This one, they're going to let it go. Looked like it was returnable. 7-0 Ohio State, 3:41 to go in the first quarter. It's streamed CBS Sports HQ, the free 24/7 sports outlet. All the sports you love. Anytime, all the time. CBS Sports HQ, get the app today. And I believe I am joining the HQ team after the game.
How about that?
Yeah. You're not.
After that drive.
You're not tired of me after 3.5 hours.
It's my first week off, though, to be honest.
I know. I was trying to give you a break. First down at the 25. Toss sweep, Caleb Johnson. And he carries the pack with him for 4. Looked like it wasn't going to be much. With a lot of gray uniforms with the scarlet numbers draped all over number 2.
It's going to be tough to get Ohio State out of their nickel package unless Iowa is able to run the ball really effective. You bring in that third linebacker, they do not like to come out of nickel. They feel they can stop the run with those safeties. So far they've been staying in nickel, and Iowa's not been able to gash them enough.
McNamara under center. They fake the stretch play, wants to throw out in the flat. He got it there, but what a lick. Caleb Downs put on Jacob Gill.
Well, the laugh this week was that Jim Knowles activated Caleb Downs. Well, if you ask me, watching tape, he's been activated for 2 years with plays just like that.
All-American as a freshman last year at Alabama before hitting the transfer portal here to Columbus.
See, the way he plays safety, it's like having 3 linebackers on the field.
His instincts are off the charts. Third down and long. Not what Iowa wanted to get themselves into. McNamara, late pressure. Got it. Complete. Out to Jacob Gill again.
Well, the wide splits by Tim Lester, offensive coordinator, made this play go because Jim Knowles had dialed a slot blitz coming from the wide side of the field. Took him too long to get there. He was free. By the time he got there, the ball was gone.
That was a great throw, and McNamara paid for it again. Jazzy and Patterson in the backfield for the first time for the Hawkeyes at the 49-yard line. He gets the carry and is stood up, but again gets positive yardage. Got about 4. Jack Sawyer in on the tackle along with Cody Simon.
So back-to-back games, Iowa have scored 30 points. First time they've been able to do that since 2020. As you watch and look at this Ohio State offense, if you're Tim Lester, you're going, I cannot expect my defense to hold these guys, to 28 points. We're going to have to score.
Last year they only averaged 15.4 points a game. And they've had a couple of good plays here now in the first quarter, trailing by 7. Second down and 6. Blitz coming off the edge. The throw goes the other way, and it's complete. Only a 2-yard gain, though. To Patterson. And Sonny Styles knocked him down. And the crowd getting loud right now for the first time for their defense on a 3rd down and 3.
Ohio State went 3 for 3 on 3rd down. The big play that Cade McNamara missed was a 3rd down throw.
Yes, it was. Caleb Johnson back in there after a short breather. 2 tight end set. They bring Gill in motion. McNamara, quick throw, got it to Gill again. 3 times on this drive. First down, Hawkeyes, as the drive continues.
Well, it might not have been splashy, but Jacob Gill, the transfer from Northwestern, has been a great addition to this football team. He's able to maneuver well, has experience in the Big Ten, and Cade McNamara trusts him with the football. It's been a great addition to this Iowa Hawkeye offense. It's like doing an Army-Navy game. This first quarter went so fast.
Flew by. It's over. And it's Ohio State, the lead at the end of one. But the Hawkeyes are trying to answer. They got a good drive going. The Buckeyes went 88 yards in 14 plays for their touchdown. The Hawkeyes have a good drive going of their own. It's 7-0 at the Horseshoe. The Home Depot Big Ten on CBS heads into quarter number 2 at the Horseshoe in Columbus. 7-0 Ohio State on a long touchdown drive. But now Iowa has put things together. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell, Gene Steratore with you on a beautiful day in Central Ohio. Buckeyes, the number 3 team in the country, looking to go to 5-0. The Hawkeyes 3-1. Their only loss, a 1-pointer to their cross-state rival Iowa State earlier this year. Caleb Johnson, nothing there. Maybe a loss of a yard.
Stuff. They're trying to run at that nickel defense for Ohio State. Bring the tight end large in motion. Watch the motion and watch it get stuffed right in the hole. That's what blows up the play. Not getting knocked down, not giving up space.
You can tell Tyleik Williams is ready to play after missing a couple of games. He was in on the tackle as he was on a couple in the first quarter. 2nd down and 10. The rushing game of Iowa that averages 250 a game having trouble today, but the air game has helped the cause a little bit as Luke Lachey makes the catch.
Well, one good news for this Iowa football team starting out is Cade McNamara has been sharp. He's missed one play when he's rolled out, a big chance for a play, but all in all, in the pocket, he has been sharp in this game. 7 for 8.
Put that one right on Luke Lachey, whose daddy Jim was an All-American here at Ohio State. 3rd down and 4. McNamara out to Caleb Johnson in the flat, and he slipped and went down, tried to make a cut back inside that may have gotten him the first down, but nothing doing.
That was a nice defensive play by the linebacker unit for Ohio State that time. Again, forced inside from where their help is. Sonny Styles gets out there, knows he's got Simon coming in to help him, turns it back in, and the Buckeye defense get the stop.
Caleb Johnson knowing that had a chance had he kept his footing. This will be a 51-yard field goal attempt by Drew Stevens. His long this year is 47. This one just outside the left upright, no good.
Plenty of foot on it.
So the Hawkeyes had a good-looking drive going. Were stopped on 3rd down, and Drew Stevens was that close on 4th down. Still 7-0 Ohio State. Ohio State being one of them here at 4-0. Oregon a win last night over Michigan State to go to 5-0. Penn State unbeaten. Indiana, as Zook just told you, Rutgers at 4-0. After the missed field goal, Ohio State takes over at their own 33-yard line.
Yes, I'd be careful right now about Jeremiah Smith. He has not been targeted yet in this game.
Keep it on the ground, Travion Henderson. And he goes for 5 or 6. CBS next Sunday. Justin Hartley returns as America's favorite hero. A new season of Tracker starts on CBS next Sunday, kicking off CBS Premiere Week and streaming on Paramount Plus. Right now, Ohio State tracking with Henderson and Judkins alternating at the tailback spot behind Will Howard.
Great matchup up here. 2 really good football players. Iowa's best cover corner.
Howard throws on the run, and Buka, another first down and out of bounds. Emeka with a touchdown catch. That is our score so far.
You know what you love about Will Howard is his maturity. He's not trying to force the ball anywhere.
Right.
He's taking the play that presents himself. Everybody likes the big play, but if you're patient with these and you're accurate with these, the big play will happen.
3 wideouts for Will this time. Right at the midfield stripe. Got some pressure. Got to get rid of it, and did. And it's going to be about a 3-yard gain as Brandon Inniss makes the catch. Another guy that is kind of quiet, but he shows signs that maybe he could be a really good wide receiver.
Oh yeah,
too.
Embarrassment of riches on this Ohio State receiving corps. Inniss, their punt returner. We asked Coach Chip Kelly, said, "Oh yeah, this guy is a special player." But when you have Tate, Smith, and Ibuka ahead of you, hard to find playing time.
That's right.
He said we will use 4 receivers in the game. I think they just did.
And they're going to, again, 2nd down and 8, empty backfield. Howard's going to keep it, though. This is a run all the way for the quarterback. And he slips and goes down, much like Caleb Johnson did on the last drive.
So looking at Ohio State, I think it goes all the way back to J.T. Barrett, since Ohio State has really called running plays. You know, when Justin Fields was
For the quarterback.
Yeah, quarterback. Yes, good point. At quarterback called runs. Justin Fields kind of did it off the passing game.
Yeah.
You know, C.J. Stroud didn't want to do it. But they're going to, as the season goes along, take more advantage of the running skills for Will Howard.
Will is perfect so far, 8 for 8 for 60 yards, including 6 for 6 on their touchdown drive. 3rd down and 6 here. Howard, he's still perfect, but it's short of the 1st down. His favorite target, Ibuka again. And Jay Higgins made the tackle to prevent the 1st down.
We talked about that offensive line. Watch how they work together to give the quarterback enough time. Good job passing off the stunt by this Iowa front. They're going to crisscross. The offensive line passes along and takes it. Donovan Jackson, Ness talked about him early. He's in there. Did a good job of picking up the stunt.
So it's 4th down and 2. They're going to go for it. Ohio State 6 out of 8 on 4th down conversions this year. And they go for it at the 42-yard line. It's Will Howard all the way. I don't think so. No, he's short.
Yeah, Y.A. Black that time did a nice job defeating his blocker. Nowhere to go. And a big stop.
Boy, I guess. Gary said you got a 6'5", 245-pound quarterback. Here he comes, but the Hawkeyes say,
What a play by Black that time. He just stood up his blocker. Watch him, just nothing there, and he's taking on Jackson on that play. That is a big-time play by big number 94, that defensive line for the Hawkeyes.
Why no 1st down? Because Y.A. made the stop. Hawkeyes take over on offense. Both quarterbacks today have been red hot so far. Cade McNamara 8 out of 9 so far in the day, and it's part of our new Project Smarter presented by the Home Depot. Smart to go out and get a quarterback who's already beaten Ohio State, although he did it when he was a Michigan Wolverine. 13 out of 19, 159 in the 19-13 win that year. So Cade has been there, done that against the Buckeyes, and Hawkeyes hoping that he can do it again today.
I think he's been sharp early.
He has been.
I think if you're
that one underthrower, he'd be perfect.
Yep, a big play, and they've had trouble producing big passing plays.
Caleb Johnson hasn't been able to break one yet, and he won't this time either. Maybe got a half yard. That's about it. The last 2 timeouts here, they honored the 50th anniversary Big Ten champion 1974 team and the 45th anniversary of the 79 Big Ten champion team. Gary had a great line.
There's 100,000 people, and they still got 9 more teams to introduce. 5,000 of the people in the stands have won Big Ten championships here.
So Kirk Ferentz said to us the other day, he said, I looked back as far as I could, and you had a chance against these guys pre-1900.
Exactly. Like they always haven't been good, right?
2nd down and 9. Fumble. I think one of the linemen got back on top of it, but a bad exchange. And that was almost... It was Hayden Large, their fullback, who got on it.
And that would be a disaster for Iowa. In their 3 wins, they have not turned the ball over 1 time. In their only loss, they had 2 turnovers against Iowa State.
So Hayden Large right there makes an extra large play to keep possession of the football for Iowa. But it's still 3rd down and 11. Play clock, got the snap away. McNamara throws and completes it across midfield. And it's Boy this time. And let's see where they mark it.
Great reaction to the ball by Boy on this one. Ball's coming and he has to reach out just as he's turning around. It is short. Will Kirk Ferentz say, no, a punt's an important play. I cannot give Ohio State the ball here, or does he go for it?
I was 0 for 3 on 4th down attempts this year. McNamara still looking to the sideline. He wants to go, of course. Most players do.
It's not a good look for the quarterback to go over there and say punt the ball. If you're out there and you're saying punt, that's not a good confidence for the coach.
He's going to take a timeout to think about it. 4th down at a yard at midfield.
I wonder if they'll take a look at this catch, by the way.
Well, it looked like the similar one earlier.
Very similar.
James territory. I don't remember a first half where we've had 2 3rd down throws that were this close, whether they're first downs or not.
Yeah, really close, Ness, and I think they did move this football a little bit, which was a good job because forward progress was he was driven back. I think they're about the 49.5, still probably a half-yard short, but a good job by replay to readjust the football.
That's what they're going to say, 49.5, so a half-yard short of the first down on 4th. And we're still waiting to see who we're going to see. It's going to be the punter, Reese Dakin, coming out. Reese was the Ray Guy Award winner as the top punter in the country last week. And they're outing against Minnesota. Averaged almost 50 yards a punt. Brandon Innes, as we said, is a guy that can be dangerous as a punt return man if he gets his hands on it.
Correct.
And they're going to go on a fake.
I think, did Iowa call timeout? I don't think they liked the look.
One of the officials was pointing that they called a timeout. And apparently they did.
Obviously, they're going to snap it direct. And before the play could be run, I think he would have made it, though.
It looks like he made it.
And remember, everybody on the field played the play out. The timeout was called. The people involved in the play had no idea it was a timeout.
And you see the referee waving his hands right there as the play was underway. Coach Ferentz is maybe thinking, I wish I just would let that one go. And from our pylon cam, he's calling the timeout to the linesman right there.
Just as the ball was snapped.
That was a great shot by our guys on the sideline. That shows you what it looks like over there when you're the head coach for 26 years and you're making decisions.
Was that a guy or was that the pylon?
Okay. Whoever invented the pylon.
Exactly.
And now the punt. And it goes out of bounds. Let's see where they're going to spot this around the 15. Oh, they're coming out all the way to the 20. Whoa.
Boy, not very good.
No.
Was it?
No.
All things considered, the completion half-yard short, they moved the ball up. If you go for it, they actually made it, and then you have a bad punt. Everything kind of went wrong.
There's only about 20 yards of difference in all that. It was only a 22-yard punt. So much for being the Ray Guy Award winner last week. 7-0 Ohio State.
Welcome back to Ohio Stadium. The Buckeyes are up by 7. And Brad and Gary, who doesn't love a good tailgate? Well, Hellman's brings out the best in your game day dishes. Use the QR code on your screen for easy recipes like the buffalo chicken dip. That's my absolute favorite. It is a certified tailgate legend. You ready for this? Mayo game day recipe. Be delicious.
Ooh, looks good about now. I wonder how much mayo Jenny will use at Maddie's birthday party. That could be gallons and gallons.
If
So
you're
much
trying
mayo,
to guess how many she invited, guess high.
Guess high. First down at the 28 after a bad punt by the Hawkeyes. On the ground, Judkins broke a tackle. Quinshawn still going.
And he didn't break just any tackle. He broke the tackle from Jay Higgins that time.
And you don't break many of Jay Higgins' tackles.
That's for sure. Coming off the slot that time, this is what this guy does. Not only is he able to pick his holes, but it is hard to tackle him. He's got a strong straight arm, does he not?
Yes, he does. That's why we called him Smash and Travion Henderson Dash. He said, I like that. I like that. He talked to us yesterday. Those are good nicknames. We'll take it. First down. Blitz coming. Throw back to the wide receiver, Jeremiah Smith. And the ball came out at the end. And still loose. I'm not sure who's got it. The Hawkeyes say they do, and they do. Smith was maybe on his way to a big gainer or even a touchdown, but he lost the handle.
So I think right now Kirk Ferentz is saying, I made the right decision. I did not want to give Ohio State the ball on the 50-yard line. If we did not make it, the ball goes to the freshman who's having the great year, but a tackle.
Jay Higgins.
Is it Jay coming back? Was it him? Higgins missed one, and he comes back and makes one and punches it out with his right hand.
The All-American with an All-American defensive play. The Hawkeyes recover it. They are back on offense, trailing by 7. 7-0 Ohio State. Let's take a look at our Discover Conference updates. Indiana off to a great start, the best in 57 years. Oregon over Michigan State last night. And the Wolverines and Huskies will do battle tonight. Michigan's won 27 straight Big Ten games here. Ohio State with a lead, 7-0. Iowa has lost 7 straight to ranked opponents, and they've got the number 3 team in the land, but they just came up with a big turnover. There's Cade McNamara's first 10 pass attempts.
Yeah, he's doing his job. Remember,
Caleb Johnson trying to go wide. Got a block from his tight end and got the edge, at least momentarily. Luke Lachey was out there. Cade McNamara might be 9 for 10, but he's paying the price on some of these throws.
But he has not been sacked in the game. He's getting the ball out of his hand, taking a little punishment, but if he can avoid the sacks, they've only been sacked Iowa 4 times all year. The quarterback is part of that story.
Caleb got 5, second down at 5. Iowa only averaging about 4 yards a play. Caleb Gill, Jacob Gill, I should say, has been his main target on a flea flicker. Down the sideline, overshot everybody, and it was Jacob Gill, the intended receiver.
Do a little flea flicker, and if you're able to defend that, Ohio State was all over the play. Nowhere to go with it. Man-to-man coverage. They caught Ohio State in a man-to-man where nobody could. Jacob Gill comes across, the safety picks him up. If it's zone, they're more likely to sneak up there and try to stop the run. The man-to-man made it easier for them if you do their job, and they did.
Well, this one they need to take advantage of that turnover, or it's for naught. 3rd down and 5. Empty backfield from the 33. McNamara got some heat down the middle, and he throws a strike. And another first down, and it's a freshman again, Vanderzee.
And watch Cade McNamara here maneuver the pocket. Reese Vanderzee, high school quarterback, athlete, true freshman, but the quarterback maneuvering. This is what you do. You just maneuver in the pocket and another sidearm strike. We talked about a quarterback. Can he play well enough? I think he is.
And a big first down. Gill in motion. Patterson in the backfield. Jazian crosses the midfield stripe to the 48-yard line. 5 minutes to go, second quarter. This would be a huge drive if the Hawkeyes rather get any kind of score out of this, because Ohio State receives the second half kickoff.
Yes, and remember, Kirk Ferentz told us, let me get it to the 4th quarter.
Yep.
And I make it a game in the 4th quarter. And so far, Hawkeyes are staying right there. That turnover was huge.
Patterson stays in there, flanking McNamara in the shotgun. Vanderzee, the motion man. Safety blitz coming. That one's too far in front of his intended receiver, Ostrenga, the other tight end. And it's 3rd down again.
Iowa has almost exclusively gone 2 tight ends, and they've really forced this Buckeye defense to bring in the 3rd linebacker. They love to go nickel, so they're doing something they don't exactly love to do. But that one, as Ness said, just a little bit of an overthrow on those short passes. The receiver has no time.
They They picked up a big third down the last time they had one. Can they do it again?
Let's see if Jim Knowles doesn't come after this passing play with an all-out blitz here.
Buckeyes show a lot of guys up front. Here they come. McNamara backpedaling, and incomplete. Intended for Ostrenga again.
And when you have confidence that their receivers can be covered man-to-man, you can bring the blitz. And that time Jim Knowles said, no, I'm bringing the safety. I'm even going to bring everybody. Not only are they going to bring the linebackers, they're going to bring the safety on the play.
McNamara, I think, was thinking that his tight end was interfered with as he had to backpedal and then throw out of desperation.
I think it was a good call by Jim Knowles that time. Thinking ahead, trusting his athletes, and they got the play he wanted.
So Reese Dakin's going to have to punt. His last punt was not a good one. This one almost was. Not quite. Got to the end zone. So the Buckeyes will have it at the 20 with 4 minutes and 18 seconds remaining and all their timeouts remaining. Tomorrow, it's another NFL on CBS doubleheader. Early window features Josh Allen and the Bills taking on his former teammate Stephon Diggs and the Texans, or the Ravens take on the Bengals. Later, Packers go on the road for a meeting with the Rams. Now that's a CBS Sports Sunday. All starts at noon Eastern. JB and the guys on the NFL Today tomorrow on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
I think you're going to see the full package here from Ohio State. Will Howard is 10 for 10. They've got 3 NFL receivers. I think you're going to see a 4-minute drill with the ball in the air.
Ryan Day told us yesterday, play clean in the first half, but don't forget to attack. Attack.
Well, they can't run anything they want here, but I think that Will Howard is licking his chops.
Off the play fake down the middle. It's tipped, incomplete. And Quinn Schulte, I think the safeties they got a hand on it.
Schulte comes up into the box and then is able to get out there and make the play. When he couldn't get there on a blitz, or if he was covering the halfback, he knew he wasn't getting the ball. He was able to retreat and get right in the throw.
That was intended for Egbuka again.
That's the subtlety of this Iowa Hawkeye defense. It's not simple. It looks plain. It's not.
They play it so soundly under the direction of Phil Parker, the longtime defensive coordinator. They'll keep it on the ground this time. Big opening up the middle. Quinshon Judkins with another big run. Schulte brought him down, but Quinshon has got the motor running.
These big guys up front are handling their guys one-on-one. Get in the face. Good job again. Turn it out. Get the tight end coming across. That is a successful play.
13 more yards for Judkins.
And that offensive line doing against veteran players for Iowa.
Here's an end around to Smith. Jeremiah Smith weaving his way to the sideline. He'll pick up about 14 on the end around. He had a 19-yard touchdown on a carry last week.
Egbuka and Smith are the only two receivers in college football on one team that are both averaging more than 90 yards in receptions a game. They're going to get between them 15 to 18 targets. They're going to find the ball that many times in this game.
So part of that rushing yardage by the freshman wideout. Empty backfield on 1st and 10. Howard flares it out to Judkins. This time not going to get away. Nice open field tackle by Castro.
Yeah, Sebastian Castro, 5th-year player, seen just about everybody play in that kind of strong safety position. That, again, is a guy who's seen a lot of football.
Made a lot of preseason All-American lists coming in to this campaign. So the Buckeyes have not been behind the chains very often. 2nd down at 12. From the 45. They shift into a pistol set here. And Howard's going to keep it. Will Howard broke one tackle. He's very close to the 1st down. Might have it.
So we visited with Will Howard. And this guy, when he walks in, you go, oh, yeah, he's for real. The big guy keeping it, a called run. He can hand it off if he wants to, but he says, nope, this time I'm keeping it. And that's the dimension that he brings to the offense.
His teammates said when he got to camp and the culture of Ohio State, they said, first thing we said, how tough is he? We hear all this stuff, and then how fast is he? And Jack Sawyer said, we found out in practice in a hurry. He's both.
Both. That's a good combination.
Well, hungry eyes by both the Buckeyes and the Hawkeyes here. Eric Carmen taking us to break at the 2-minute timeout.
Guys.
Indiana, what a season so far at 5-0. Here at 7-0 Ohio State, the #3 team in the country, and their offensive line playing well.
They sure have. That was the question. Could they move the ball in the running game? For over 100 yards in the first half. That is great success. They're doing it inside too. They're running against that 4-2 look inside, and they're forcing that Iowa defense to constrict. As the game goes on, Iowa will be forced to bring in safeties, and then the big plays will happen.
Here's what Smash and Dash has done so far today. 23 for Travion, 51 for Quinshon. First down. Will Howard loads up, is going to go short and gets it to Abuka, only about a 2-yard gain. Talk about a clean pocket, though, for Will Howard on that throw.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a running quarterback, you can go, when you pass, you can get that clean pocket to just stand there and just look downfield. 6-man up there blocking. They bring in their tight, I think there was a tight end in there, helping out a bit.
So 2nd down and 8. They still have all 3 of their timeouts. Travion Henderson back in the backfield. Now Howard's going deep. Man there is Smith, incomplete. Nice coverage all the way down the field by Deshaun Lee.
Yes, you know it, and it's one-on-one, and you have to do it. You can't just play zone all game. Good leverage, sees the ball, nose overthrown, no panic. Deshaun Lee, perfect coverage. Ball thrown in a spot where just one guy could get it. Everybody kind of did their job.
Yeah, they did.
Deshaun Lee did it the best.
And it brings up a 3rd down and long. Jeremiah Smith's been held in check today, with the exception really of that 14-yard end around. Here comes the blitz. Howard overthrows the intended receiver Ennis, and good coverage again, this time Jamari Harris.
And that's one guy you might not want to go after. Jamari Harris has only had 20 targets this year, only 7 completions when he's been in man-to-man all year, and only 66 yards throwing against Jamari. He's their best cover corner.
A 5th-year senior out of Chicago. They call him Uncle because he's the oldest guy back in the secondary, and he forces a punt from Joe McGuire. Caden Weegan waits on the other end as McGuire is going to force a fair catch around the 70-yard line. So Iowa's got a couple of timeouts to work with, and a minute 35 coming up. The Geico halftime report. Adam, Aaron, Rick, and BJ have highlights and analysis as they catch you up on all today's top games. Here it's been a slugfest in the Big Ten at Ohio Stadium. 7-0. No penalties for either team today. Hawkeyes the least penalized team in the country, so they've kept it clean. That was what both coaches wanted to do, so we got about what we expected, I think.
Iowa's going no turnovers, no penalties. They've only been averaging about 3 a game for the year. Interesting, Iowa has 2 timeouts, but just as important, Ohio State has all 3.
So a couple of misfires here, and they could force a punt and get the ball back. But right now, Cade McNamara is thinking, I know we're deep in our own territory, and we don't want to do anything foolish here, but at the same time, let's see if we can get some points before the break.
Well, even just get some yards, so they don't have to punt out of their own end zone here.
Patterson stays in at tailback. Caleb Johnson not in there. Kind of surprising. Patterson, loss of a couple.
Quick timeout is going to come after that. 2nd and long.
Sonny Styles read that thing perfectly. Back in 30 seconds with 1:30 remaining in the half.
What does it mean to be rich? Maybe rich is less about reaching a magic number and more about discovering magic. The key to being rich is knowing what counts.
Full-time fans, you give the season everything you've got, and I've got my eyes on you. I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm rewarding the most passionate fans. because that kind of dedication deserves a Modelo.
Join CBS Sports Network for more college football tonight at 8 Eastern. We bring you some Mountain West mayhem between Hawaii and San Diego State. 8 o'clock tonight, CBS Sports Network.
Really interesting call here for Iowa because Ohio State's selling out to stop the run. You get a little bootleg, slip a tight end in the flat because Ohio State, they don't care about timeouts right now. They've got them all in their pocket. 2 of them left.
Iowa, an extra offensive lineman from their own 5-yard line. Toss, sweep, Patterson going to lose another yard. And it was Cody Simon, the linebacker, with the hit.
He sure did sniff that one out, didn't he?
Yep. Another timeout for the Buckeyes. 3rd down and 12 coming up. Caleb Johnson finally back in the Hawkeye huddle on a 3rd down. Jenny says nothing physically wrong with him. He's only got 16 yards on the ground. And Peyton McNamara is going to be standing at his own goal line here on 3rd down and 12. Luke Lachey, the tight end, in motion. McNamara throws it to Caleb. And he only got it back out to the 8 or 9 yard line. And it's punting time as he goes out of bounds.
I was looking for something like that on 2nd down, something easy, something safe, because 3rd down, Ohio State just sat in the deep zone, kept everything in front of them, and now, it's not like in college ball, the timeouts are not as valuable because the clock stops after every 1st down. Getting the ball back with 1:21, plenty of time.
Boy, Sonny Styles, what a rangy defensive player. He was a safety before, now he's kind of a hybrid safety linebacker. Just made a great play there and forces the punt.
And the punter has not had a good 1st half.
No, he hasn't. And he's got a guy back there, Brandon Innes.
Very aggressive punt return, Innes is.
Let's see if number 11 gets his hands on it. Dakin punting in his own end zone.
Got a good one.
Needed a good one. Innes has to call a fair catch at the 45-yard line. But still, good field position, 1:13 to play with. Buckeyes coming back out on offense. Is team spirit in your blood? Prove it. Join Abbott and the Big Ten in the largest blood donation competition in our lifetime. Sign up for the We Give Blood Drive today at big10.org/Abbott. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell, Gene Steratore, the Buckeyes, the Hawkeyes, 1:13 to play till halftime. And good field position for Ohio State, leading 7-0. And they will get the 2nd half kickoff. So let's see if Will Howard and company.
Iowa has 6 defensive backs on the field.
Howard again flares it out to the backfield, and Travion Henderson got about 1.5 yards. Stops the clock, 1:07.
Who's going to make the big play? Can that Iowa front 4 get a sack? Can the DB intercept the ball or knock one down? Who's going to make the big play, or will it be a Buckeye receiver?
Their biggest play so far made by Jay Higgins defensively when he popped the football away from Jeremiah Smith. They didn't take advantage of that turnover, though. Howard, late hit, and there's the interception Gary was talking about, and it's Castro.
Who's going to make the big play? The veteran. The uncle of the team.
That's right. Sebastian Castro had 3 interceptions last year. Here's his first one of 2024.
And there was a bit of pressure. He could feel it coming right up the middle, a stunt to the outside. But Castro did a great job of running under this route. Had a tough matchup against a good player, but Castro made the play.
And Will Howard goes, there's my 3rd pick of the year. Didn't need that.
Yeah, that's back-to-back big plays. Jamari Harris, number 27, made the big play on 3rd down, and then Sebastian Castro comes back and saves him again, getting out of this half 7-0, and now all of a sudden you're in a position with 2 timeouts left.
Let's see if their offense can get something out of this. Buckeyes thinking about a blitz. They're going to bring it. McNamara sidearms it and incomplete. Broken up. David Osen got a hand on it on the corner.
Yeah, Reese Vanderzee this time ran into a veteran defensive back that just kind of overwhelmed him to the outside. David Osen that time.
That's well put. Overwhelming.
That's a true freshman against a veteran that's played a lot of football. Transferred from Ole Miss, and they've got a pair of them.
2nd and 10. McNamara not going to have time. Down he goes.
This is actually a good sack by McNamara. Don't throw the ball if it's not there. Get out of the half now. They'll run the clock down and not have to punt the ball. They'll get out of the half without giving it back to Ohio State.
Tui Malaulau is the guy that put the pressure on, and Sawyer is the guy that finished it off. That's Jack's 2nd sack of the year for number 33. Came at a big time.
That's where the helmet communication, you can go to your quarterback. If it's not there, don't be worried about holding on to it. Get out of the half. 7-0. We'll take that.
Could be the final play of the half. And they'll keep it on the ground. Caleb Johnson, as much of the game has been about a 3 or 4 yard gain for the Hawkeyes, and that will wind things to a close. A little chatter going on between these two Big Ten rivals, Sonny Styles and Caleb Johnson, and that's who they said came in saying some things about the Buckeyes, and yeah, Sonny said something back.
I think Sonny Styles read the article too.
Yeah, I guess so. Ohio State will get the ball to start the 2nd half. Both teams still milling around a little bit.
Yeah, they got to crisscross. That's why the Hawkeyes have to let them go, and then you get your turn to go to the locker room.
Okay, everybody's straightened out now, I think. Kirk Ferentz' team only down a touchdown, but they have been unable to take advantage of the 2 turnovers. Forced 1 fumble recovery and 1 interception. Still no points, though.
And it kind of not take advantage, but it did. Mike kept 14 more points off the board for Ohio State.
Leading coach is Ryan Day with Jenny.
Coach, we just saw you having a conversation with the referee out there. Can you share what you were talking about?
Yeah, it was just the end of the game, get everybody off the field.
How do you maintain the chippiness that's going on there, make sure that they're calm?
Oh, it's just these guys are competitive, and defense is playing well right now. Held them to 90 total yards in the first half, but we've had 2 turnovers on offense, and then we don't convert on the 4th down. So that's really been the story of the first half.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
I think it was. I think that's exactly it.
Pretty much the story.
Yep.
7-0 at halftime. Coming up, Adam Zucker and the guys, the Geico halftime report from New York. The Home Depot Big Ten on CBS from the Horseshoe in Columbus. 7-0 as we're just about set to start the 3rd quarter. Before we do, Big Ten traditions with Jenny Dow.
Chris Ward was a 2-time All-American offensive lineman for Ohio State in the mid-70s, blocking for Heisman winner Archie Griffin. During his career, the Buckeyes had a 39-8-1 record and won or shared 4 Big Ten titles. He also earned academic All-American honors, and in 1989, he was inducted into Ohio State's Athletics Hall of Fame. Earlier today, Ward was recognized on the field as an electee into this year's National Football Foundation's Hall of Fame class and will be inducted at the annual dinner in December.
And as always, Archie was right behind him. Even with the plaque being displayed, he was following his All-American offensive lineman. Back at Ohio Stadium, low scoring first half. Ohio State, the number 3 team in the country, trying to stay that way. The once beaten Hawkeyes of Iowa, just 1 blemish on their record, a 1-point loss to Iowa State. And they're trying to pull an upset on the road. Drew Stevens to kick to open the 3rd quarter. Brandon Ennis is going to bring it out from about 2 yards deep and runs into one of his own men, and he's not even going to make it to the 15-yard line. And that's kind of the type of hitting we've had through 2 quarters so far. As we welcome you back to the booth, everybody. Brad and Gary, Jenny, as you just heard down on the field, Gene's Territory with us too. great defense partners so far, and Caleb Johnson's been shut out.
Absolutely, 8 for 19 yards. But remember, you talked about Phil Parker and the Iowa defensive philosophy.
Yep.
Make it slow, wait for a mistake, and for Ohio State, they've made the mistakes. I mean, even their best play of the half ended up being a turnover.
Right.
So far, the philosophy for this Iowa defense has worked.
And that play that Gary's talking about was Jeremiah Smith, the freshman, getting in the open, and then Jay Higgins knocking the ball out of his hands. One of 2 Buckeye turnovers, and now they start with their worst field position of the day at the 14-yard line. But they're going to get positive yardage here for Quinshon Judkins, who of the 2 has been the best tailback between he and Travion Henderson. Jenny?
Well, Coach Ferentz telling me that they need to play well in all 3 phases of the game, that this is going to be a total team effort if they want to come out on top. And he said, we really need to get our run game going. I asked him about Caleb Johnson. You know, he missed a lot of series at the end of the first half, and he said he is completely fine. They're just trying to mix things up offensively, guys.
All right, we'll see if he gets in gear in the second half, coming in as the number 2 rusher in the country. And nothing to show for it today. Judkins, meanwhile, having a good day and a first down run there.
So if you're this Iowa defense, you can't get down on yourself with Ohio State running the ball and making 6, 8 yards or 2 runs for a first down. Remember, their philosophy is, again, as we talked about, force them to take the long route. Keep that explosive play off the board. So far, with the 4th down play and 2 turnovers, been the story of the game.
Yep. Their long route was our only score of the day, 88 yards in 14 plays. And they're just going to keep pounding it if they can, and it's working so far. That's about a 4-yard gain on forward progress. And Jay Higgins in on the stop again. Our game trends presented by the all-electric Cadillac Lyric. Howard, 1 interception, completed his first 10 passes. Buckeye receivers, Egbuka was the number 1 guy. The rest of the team didn't equal what he did. And Caleb Johnson, there's the big one that just jumps out at you. Comes in averaging 171 yards on the ground and only 19, as Gary said at the break. Empty backfield, 2nd down and 6. Will Howard run all the way? And he's close to the first down. I think a little bit short, couple of feet.
Yeah, Nick Johnson that time, the inside linebacker, did a good job of taking on the blocker and turning that in. Iowa went with their, took out their nickel package. They had 3 linebackers, but watch Johnson come down here and take this play on. It's not always pretty. I mean, you got the quarterback running. This is quarterback power, takes on the blocker, blows it up, and it's about as good as you could have done on a play.
We talk also so much about Jay Higgins and having 171 tackles like near Nick Jackson at 110. And this time Howard's going to get the first down. And shows his power out to the 40-yard line.
So all year, Ohio State has kind of been not willing to run their quarterback. But now with the success in here by those defensive tackles on short yardage, they've had to pull the trigger to run the ball.
You asked both Ryan Day and Chip Kelly yesterday, are we going to see 18 with his legs a little bit more now that we're a third of the way through the season? And they said, you probably will. And we have several times today. This time he's going to throw. Maybe. Got it. Complete. Egbuka. Pick up a 9.
Again, the style, the deep zone, plenty of time. The key here, watch the coverage by this Iowa defense. They're going to drop into a zone, force the ball in front of them, just give you the space out here to the sideline. Do you have enough time to come to your 3rd receiver? They did.
And he's been their number 1 receiver for Will Howard today so far. Pickup of 9, 2nd and short. Travion Henderson now in the backfield. They fake it to him. And Howard trying to get wide. That one won't work. And courtesy of Jay Higgins, who says, I see you.
I thought Will was going to go deep to short on this sprint out this time, but he did not. Had this receiver wide open down the sideline right here. If he'd have just sprinted and looked at his number 1 guy going deep, he had a big play right there. Got him wide open, but Will was kind of zoomed in on the comeback to the outside. Had potential big play.
Jay Higgins was zoomed in on Howard and is forcing a 3rd down and 6. Four-man rush. Howard standing tall, going deep. Man there. Jeremiah Smith. First and goal, Ohio State.
Do you think he saw my telestrator thing of the deep guy open?
I think he might have.
Starts out in the same spot. The wide receiver, kind of a double move with double coverage, by the way. Playing in and out on the play. Schulte inside, Harris to the outside in the double move, and the time to throw the ball, getting the deep throw.
And the biggest play of the day, 53 yards to the freshman sensation Jeremiah Smith, and it's first and goal at the 4-yard line. The Buckeyes threatening on their opening drive, third quarter. Extra tight ends in there up front. And it's going to be a fade to the corner, though, to Smith. Oh, he one-handed it again. How many times is this kid going to do this year?
Well, one hand caught it, and the other hand held off the defender. This is basically how Chris Carter played wide receiver here.
Well, he's going to break Chris Carter's freshman records at the pace he's going. Wow. It's becoming commonplace, even though the crowd is reacting to what's on the big screen. So 60 of those yards courtesy of Jeremiah Smith, who just exploded on the scene here in the third quarter.
He keeps doing this. Instead of being you got Moss, it's going to be you got Smith. One-on-one out here. That's the option. He can throw it out there if he wants, even if he has a running play on at the same time. Get rid of the ball quickly. The offensive line is blocking for a run. Just take the one-on-one. Can't cover it any better than that. Can't throw it.
Wow.
It's not just the gloves, but that guy's good.
The Ohio players can say it all. Fire. Touchdown, Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith in the middle of that pile. His 6th touchdown catch of the year, capping an 86-yard drive in 9 plays. And chasing history, as Gary said, Chris Carter used to do this stuff back in the day, and he's gaining on Chris in every freshman category. He told Jenny, I believe, that's my goal this year, to break Chris Carter's freshman records. Well, he's on his way. The Buckeyes scored on their first drive of the first half and the first drive of the second half. One was 88 yards. That one was 86.
They finally got that explosive play down there where they could throw the jump ball. The 53-yarder followed by a toss it up where only your guy can do it. Now it's a new ball game for this Iowa offense.
Yeah.
Kirk said to Jenny, we want to run the ball. Can they still do that? Down 14-0.
The Buckeyes all season have made people play from behind. Weegan is going to field this one at the goal line. And he's hit before he gets to the 20. And that's where the Hawkeyes come out. Well, you can go back for this guy to high school. Jeremiah Smith with one-hand catches. He's making them commonplace. There's one in high school. Here's one last week. And here's one, again, another look. And then just a couple of minutes ago, this dandy. Wow. Chip Kelly says a generational talent. We said, how good do you think he is? Have you ever had anybody like him? Chip said no. When he showed up here at camp, he was 17 years old, and he could have started for anybody in the NFL right there. He's going to have to wait a couple years. And now the ball is out. Mistake made. Cody Simon with the fumble recovery. Jack Sawyer made the hit.
It sure was. Sawyer comes through when Cade McNamara climbs the pocket. Sawyer's able to double back and get him where you can't see him. He's behind him. Sawyer down here. Watch him come up and retreat and make the hit for the fumble. When you're coming up in the pocket, you lose sight of those people behind you, and that's the guy that makes the play.
Jack Sawyer, he's a load coming off that edge. And the fumble recovery's at the 19-yard line. In the red zone, and another golden opportunity for the Buckeyes offense now. 3 receivers to Will Howard's right, but now they all come in a tight set. They'll give it to Travion. No, yes they will. Travion Henderson for about 4. Let's check in with Jenny.
Well, guys, not everyone knows that Seattle Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith is Jeremiah Smith's cousin. Now, earlier this year, Geno predicted that Jeremiah was going to be, quote, the best wide receiver ever. When I asked Jeremiah about it, he said, yeah, people have been telling me that for a long time. I feel the same way. He has LeBron James tweeting at him. Guys, he told me he's just focused on being the best version of himself each and every day.
Very quiet guy, the coaches say.
I think that's what he does best. He keeps a level head and not get too caught up in it. Just keep the celebrations to when you do the one-handers.
Ohio State great in the red zone. They're great again here. Travion Henderson, 1st and goal, around the 4.
Well, this is what you wonder about, you know, this Ohio State offense. You got to feed everybody. And again, right up at it, that offensive line rebuilt. Seth McLaughlin coming from Alabama. He gets in on the middle linebacker that time and makes that play go.
The umpire's lucky he didn't get run over at the end of this. Travion blasting through everybody.
Yeah, McLaughlin was able to get onto Higgins, man-to-man, just enough.
Iowa hasn't allowed a rushing touchdown all season long. They hadn't allowed a touchdown in an opening drive in a couple years either. But here's another touchdown on the ground, and it's Will Howard for the score.
There's a lot of teams that can score a lot of points. But this team reminds me offensively the way they're built of the Georgia teams that can play smash mouth. They got wide receivers that can hurt you, and they got a playmaker at quarterback. Where do you stop them? Anybody on the field can get the ball, and this time they let the quarterback keep it on the zone read, and he's faster than you think.
Absolutely. Extra point coming up from Jaden Fielder. And right now, Ohio State early, almost midway through the 3rd quarter, I should say, and they're starting to pull away. It was 7-0 at halftime. Things didn't look that bad for Iowa, but now a long drive, then a turnover, then a short drive, then another Will Howard touchdown. Well, if you're a Buckeye fan, an exciting 7 minutes to open this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and I think it kind of underlines the fact when Ryan Day went off the field and he looked up at the scoreboard and goes, we didn't get a 4th down and we had 2 turnovers. If we just do our job and keep the ball, we'd be way ahead. They've kept the ball. You see what happens.
So now that really puts the Hawkeye offense behind the 8 ball. Second half scoring. The last 3 games, second half comebacks against Troy and Minnesota. No offense to Troy and Minnesota, but they probably aren't quite the caliber of Ohio State. Last one was returned by Weegan. Didn't get it to the 20-yard line. This one they let go. And out to the 25. CBS Sports celebrates Hispanic and Latina pioneers of change and recognizes the history, cultures, traditions, and impact of these communities during Hispanic Heritage Month. Now Cade McNamara, who fumbled the last time he touched it, after trying to line his team up and get something going offensively.
And it's hard to blame Tim Lester for dialing up a pass play. When you can't run the ball, you got to loosen up that defense. They have not been able to do it.
McNamara under center. Jacob Gill's been his favorite target. That was the motion man there. And loss on the play. Sonny Styles blows that one up.
He sure does. You can see the reason for his quickness, being able to come from the second level and just hit that hole on the run. He just has a quick trigger. As fast as he is, great athlete, feels it, and he's in there.
Boy, he's made some impact plays today in a hurry, including that one. Sonny, his dad, Lorenzo, is a star here and a longtime player in the NFL. His brother's on the team as well. Second down and 12. Vanderzee was in motion. Going to flare it out to him. Short game. Going to bring up 3rd down.
know, just another way of looking at it for this Iowa team. Such a fine line. They had to kind of tightrope to stay in the game in the first half. You can see what can happen if you just lose leverage a little bit. It's so explosive.
Third down and 8. They need to get to the 35-yard line. McNamara fires. Nice throw, but Lachey got it.
What a play.
Luke Lachey. Extra effort got him the first down.
I know the analyst for Ohio State football, Jim Lachey, his dad, got to be rooting for the Buckeyes, but on this one, has to be pretty proud of the son on that play.
You know, it's got to be a hard thing to do. I know it's about 20 years ago. I remember you did a Northwestern Purdue game, and Matt was playing for Northwestern against your alma mater.
Came in late in the game and threw a touchdown pass, and I'm doing it. And there's Jimmy right there calling the plays.
Mixed emotions, especially at the tailgate.
His
outside.
heart was pumping on that one.
First down, a big first down. Now Caleb Johnson trying to get something going, and there he goes. Knocked out of bounds by Caleb Downs, or he might have been gone. So one Caleb on the other, but that's his best play of the day.
And again, just to highlight what a good job this Ohio State defense did on Caleb Johnson. He's 225 pounds. He's a load to bring down, and when he gets out, look at the speed he has. That's the job that Ohio State defense has done. Any play is the potential big play. Against Minnesota, Caleb Johnson had 5 rushes of more than 20 yards.
And he's had 12 of those this year. Make it 13 now because that one was 28 yards. They're going to feed him again, and he's met right in the hole, and down he goes for a loss. And it's Lathan Ransom this time.
Even when they're in nickel, you get those safeties that are right on the ball. Just there's a safety right there. Safety coming up for the second level, reading it. Ransom that time, number 8. You got one guy in the box and one guy coming from deep to read it.
Ransom came in as the active career tackle leader for this Buckeye team with 172, and that was a big blast there and a loss of 1. Empty backfield. McNamara down the middle. It might have been tipped, but Lachey got it. So 2 catches by Luke on this drive.
Yeah, 5-man blitz this time. They might have dropped the end man on the play to the outside. Yes, they did. 4 men with a different look, but the middle linebacker vacated, and that's why the open area was over the middle.
There was the tip right there by Tyleik Williams, but still it knuckleballed its way out for a gain of 13 to Lachey.
Remember, I was talking about that 2013 game? They threw 11 times to the tight end in that game for 181 yards. That's always been the game plan for Iowa.
They've had some great tight ends. Lachey, another one of them. McNamara. This one's intercepted. Picked off. Down the sidelines going Davison Ignosin, and he's knocked out of bounds, so there's a turnover back to the Buckeyes.
Again, Ignosin just manhandles the receiver. Cade McNamara is thinking the worst I'm going to get is a 50-50 chance, but watch, Davison just not. It's again the same matchup. Just muscles him out of the way, and the ball just ends up right in his lap. Did he get him enough a grab on the play? Could that have been called? The ball was tipped again, by the way, coming out, but the defensive pressure up front. Tuimoloau gets him, but to the end, Ignosin manhandles the receiver or grabs him, whatever you want to say, he got away with it.
Yep, no penalty, and he's got his first interception of the season. Right back to the offense. Judkins, big opening off the left side. Quinshon with a collision and keeps on moving for another 14-yard gain.
Late flag on the play.
This is going to be the first penalty of the game, believe it or not.
Holding.
And it's
Offense number
coming back.
74. 10-yard penalty. Still first down. Timeout for an injured player.
Ethan Hurkett is the guy down for the Hawkeyes.
Ness was just thinking about that last play one more time. If you're a Hawkeye fan, remember the ball was tipped, and that takes away, once it's tipped, that takes away the interference on the play, and you can manhandle them a little bit more. They'll give you more leeway.
Welcome back to Ohio Stadium. It is 21-0 right now, and a quick update on Ethan Hurkett. We saw him go down there. He's on the sideline taking in some electrolytes. Guys, it was just cramping.
All right, senior out of Cedar Rapids. Coming to CBS Thursday, it's the new comedy from the brains behind The Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon. Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage premieres Thursday, October 17th, here on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. And speaking of Georgie, our Hall of Fame statistician George Hill celebrating his birthday today. And we don't know what year it is. In fact, George doesn't know what year it is.
And we're not asking. Right?
No, we're not asking. We don't want to pry. Happy birthday, George. 21-0. Ohio State, 3:36 remaining in the third quarter. Quinshon Judkins having a big day. Keeps adding to it. So take a look at some news and notes from around college football. Army and Navy, how about those two? Off to 5-0 starts, first time forever. Buddy Tevens, the Dartmouth honored him by naming the stadium in his memory. That's just awesome. The Hurricanes traveled to Cal. That's a long round trip.
It's a long round trip.
We got a couple of those long trips. We had one last week. We'll have one next week, but nothing quite that long. Army Navy 5-0, and man, they're scoring points, and they're doing it in different fashion than we've ever seen. Here's a throw out to Ennis, completes. Going to bring up third down. Will Howard, interception today, but a touchdown through the air, a couple on the ground. Part of Ohio State's 307 yards so far. And another third down and a long one. Third down and 11. Aguka's been his top receiver. Jeremiah Smith had the biggest play of the day for Ohio State. This one goes to Jeremiah Smith. Broke a tackle. Didn't get the first down, but it's going to be fourth down and about a yard and a half.
And now you want to full across the field throw that time to the outside. And then the extra yards after the catch here, I think, puts Ryan Day into a decision. Does he kick the field goal or does he go for it?
He's big, he's slippery, and he's fast. And he catches everything that's even close to him. Almost a late hit out of bounds. So fourth down coming up.
I think he's challenging his team right here. Are they going to?
Fourth down and about 2.5. They fake it to Judkins. They go down the middle, and it's Ennis. And it's first down at the 11-yard line for number 11.
Pretty easy look right here if you have the play on. Outside technique. See how he's favoring the outside of the receiver? At that point, Will Howard says, I have the opportunity to throw the slant. He does. Boy, fourth and short, and you have that in your repertoire. That's the maturity and the trust.
You go for 21.
Will Howard, right?
21 yards before they can track him down. And back in the red zone again, where they've been perfect today. 3 for 3. And a ball on the ground. Howard's just going to cover it as he's trying to hand it off to Judkins.
I think Judkins thought he was keeping it. You know, a lot of those plays, the quarterback has the ability to keep it, and the running back, you know, if I don't have it, he must.
That's right. Well, he eventually got on it, but little mesh point right here was a little bit of confusion right there. And
yeah, you can tell right now that Quinshon Judkins thought that Will Howard was going to keep it. Or maybe even tried to keep it.
So that backs it up to the 15. Howard, plenty of time. To the end zone again. Caught by Aguka, touchdown. Wow, this receiving core is something special.
Boy, that is so hard to play man-to-man against those tight bunches. Chip Kelly has brought it into this offense. Remember, who's going to get the ball? No one has any idea. Fisher is man-to-man on it to the outside. Perfect spot on the play. You have a linebacker matched up to a future probably #1 pick at wide receiver.
Jaden Fielding's extra point. And here in the third quarter that is almost over. It is all Ohio State now, 28-0. It was 7-0 at halftime.
So Kyler Fisher's out here saying, all right, I'm an outside linebacker. There's no way I have to cover this guy, do I? Watch what happens. Because of the crossing of the route, the bunch, he's stuck with one of the best wide receivers on college football. It still took a perfect throw.
That it was. Egbuka, the touchdown, the captain of the wide receiver room, says, I'm so honored to be the captain. He is a leader on and off the field.
Getting a fresh deal at Subway has never been easier. Just buy any footlong in the app, get another free. The only hard part is telling Travis he doesn't get the second footlong.
Wait, seriously?
I got you next time, buddy. Order now in the Subway app.
Oh no. Guess I'm going back to the store.
I can fix that.
Fast fixes with Felix.
Tomorrow work?
Works for me.
Gotta run.
That's what you do.
Delivery at the speed you need.
I know 20 of you and you're rich as hell. We're going to give you tax cuts. We're going to pay.
I'm not rich as hell. I'm the one that really needs the break. Not the people that are already rich and have the money. The 1% don't serve anybody but themselves. So for them to get a tax break, no, that's not cool. Kamala Harris is going to make billionaires pay their fair share, and she's going to cut taxes for working people like me. I'm Buddy, and I'm not rich as hell, and I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
I didn't have to spend my life trying to find my calling. Mine found me at an early age. There was no question of what I wanted to be. It was just a matter of how good I could get and how far I would go.
At Ram, our calling is to build trucks. So when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
I have a surprise for you.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah. Feast your eyes on this.
Oh, that's sexy. Feels so new.
I want to feel this feeling again and again.
Can I hold it?
How bad do you want to hold it?
I'm not gonna beg, but pretty please.
Don't. Go ahead, press a button.
Oh, it's glowing.
Apple Intelligence. We should do this more often.
Agreed.
We kindle the feeling of love with the new iPhone 16 Pro on us and feel it again and again with the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime.
CBS Wednesday, the realest night of television begins with back-to-back exciting new episodes of Survivor and The Summit. This Wednesday starting at 8, 7 Central on CBS and streaming on Paramount+. Ohio State's been streaming on offense this half. 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns. Iowa's 2 possessions this half, a fumble and an interception. And thus 28-0. Will Howard's had a hand in all of the Buckeyes' touchdowns. Legion will let this one go. Let's go back to that last touchdown drive here.
After the interception, it was 6 plays. Remember, it was 1st and 20. This was the 3rd down play that Smith gets it into position just enough to go for it on 4th down. And then not only 4th down, an RPO slant to Brandon Innius that sets up another one of those fades to the outside to those, you know, as Wink Martindale said, one of those werewolf guys.
Yep,
You can just do it no matter if they're covered.
So that's desperation, 4th quarter plus 13 seconds for Iowa. Caleb Johnson, pickup of about 4. That should close out quarter number 3.
And Iowa thought they had a chance to get it to the 4th quarter. The 2 turnovers meant they couldn't do it.
The 3rd quarter, a 21-point 3rd quarter for the 3rd-ranked team in the country. Some sensational offensive plays, and they're in command as we head to the 4th. The Home Depot Big Ten on CBS heads into the 4th quarter at Ohio Stadium. And it's all Buckeyes right now after a 21-point explosion in the 3rd quarter, and they lead it 28-0. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell, Gene Steratore, our CBS crew with you. from Columbus and the horseshoe, and 14 points off the fumble and the interception, and total yardage, total domination right now after that third quarter. Cade McNamara trying to get his offense in gear, and he's hit behind the line, and the ball is out again, and it's another turnover. This time Kenyatta Jackson comes up with it.
I think it was Ty Hamilton, number 58, that forced the turnover on the play. Let's see if it was Ty on the play. Pushes him back. Yes, it was. Pushed his offensive guard, Connor Colby back into the quarterback, and then just whacked it loose.
Fifth-year senior knocks it out. It bounces around a little bit, and then covered by Kenyatta Jackson. And
Can was kind of coming forward. Was it enough to call it an incomplete pass? Will they look at that?
And it is under review now.
Cocked. I don't know. I think that ball was twisting in his hand as it started to come forward. Watch the ball twist. See how it twists? He did not have control of that ball. I would call that a fumble.
Which is what it was called on the field.
Wonder what Gene thinks.
Gene Steratore, your opinion, my friend.
Really, really close, fellas, and I am looking at whether he is squeezing that football as his hand moves forward. Now, all he has to do is have that hand move forward, and when you see it turn like that, does he have control as his hand is spinning backward, or does the ball move a little bit? I think it's really, I don't think you can definitively say he has control of that football whenever it starts forward there, and with that little movement, I don't see them overturning this. I think they go stands on the play, guys.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down and 10, Ohio State.
Watch the ball twist just as that hand comes forward. I think he loses control of it. No matter what, Ty Hamilton did a bull rush exactly the way they teach it. Shoves his man Colby right into the quarterback.
3 drives, 3 turnovers this half by the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes looking to add more to the ledger here, and they might get more. TreVeyon Henderson with a stiff arm and out of bounds, a gain of 10, or so it appears. Schulte knocked him out of bounds.
See, I was thinking about right now, if you're up there and you're Chip Kelly, you're going, all right, now I got to think about spreading the ball out. Oh my guys, there's a lot of guys to feed on this offense right here. A lot of stars on this team. Who hasn't had enough touches? Maybe it was this guy. We go with TreVeyon.
AT&T pylon cam. That is not a pylon cam shot, but that's Chip up in the booth. And it is a first down run to the 17-yard line. Henderson again got to the 15 before he's dragged down by Wyatt Black.
Just think about how much it helps both Quinshon Judkins and TreVeyon Henderson to have the other guy on the field.
Right.
You know, I mean, you don't get beat up as it's a long season where Ohio State wants to go. You know, they can play 15, 16 games maybe this year. You got 2 guys that keep them both fresh.
Quinshon told us yesterday we push each other at practice, we cheer for each other during the game, and we really don't care who's getting the rock. Right now it's TreVeyon. Broke 1 tackle. Got it down inside the 10 to the 9.
You know, we talked about early in this game, was this offensive line for Ohio State good enough? Was it national championship good enough against a formidable opponent up front for this Iowa? Grown men, a system, and overall, the whole game, I think they've stepped up. Again, Seth McLaughlin doing the combo block, getting up on the linebacker. Good performance by that offensive line.
Running behind that line, Henderson's got it to the 5. First and goal, Ohio State.
So if you're going to bring in NFL transfers, it almost doesn't seem fair. I mean, Ohio State has all these players coming back, and then they go out and get 3 key players. Seth McLaughlin right up the middle. The center from Alabama, and you get the quarterback, and then you get Quinshon Judkins, 3 guys to come in here to fit perfectly on this offense for Ohio State for smash and dash.
Both averaging over 6 a carry. That's Quinshon on the sideline, cheering for number 32, who stays in there. 1st and goal. Henderson maybe got a yard out of that. Deontay Craig closed in on him in a hurry.
See, one of the things you're doing if you're Chip Kelly, you go, oh, wait a second here. Travion only has 7 carries.
Yeah, Quinshon's got 9.
Yeah, we got to make sure that I don't have to have a meeting with him on Monday.
Quinshon comes in now. So one goes out, the other comes in. Dashes out, smashes in.
Right now it's 11-10, Travion.
Howard, he goes for a yard. So you got those 2 guys, All-American tailbacks, and then you got to pick your poison, the 6'5", 240-pound quarterback carrying it.
He had 30 carries, 31 carries, 21 by the tailback position and 10 by the quarterback, and they've rushed for 172 yards.
And Iowa only gave up 62 yards a game coming in on the ground.
Good point.
Which was 4th in the country, right behind Ohio State, in fact. 3rd down and goal. Quinshon Judkins stays in there. And whistle.
I think the play clock was pretty close to coming down there. Ohio State did take the timeout.
So we'll have a chance to talk over with Coach Day with 11 minutes and change remaining from the Horseshoe, where the Buckeyes are in command. Our IHG Hotel and Resorts game recap. Dynamic duo of Egbuka and Smith, 12 receptions, 157 and 3 touchdowns. And Will Howard's been sensational as well, through the air and on the ground. And we're here with about 11 minutes to go, and it's all Ohio State as we welcome you back to the booth. Not much you can do about some of the talent Ohio State's got out there.
Yes, I don't think there's any weakness on this team. And more than that, there's mismatches on this team. You've got a veteran quarterback, Chip Kelly calling plays, and this team is hungry and committed. They're kind of following the pattern that Michigan did. They all came back and recommitted. They've got that goal. Nobody's saying it's my team, it's my turn for touches. They got the big picture of a championship throughout this team.
And they've got a 3rd and goal right now at the 3-yard line of Iowa. Quinshon Judkins in the backfield with Will Howard. He's going to throw for it, though, to the corner, and it's caught. Egbuka again. Touchdown, Ohio State.
When you're a good teammate and when you're happy for everybody else, like Egbuka has been all year, okay? He was happy for the success of Jeremiah Smith. Your teammates love the fact that when it comes your turn, they go and celebrate with you.
4 drives this half, 4 touchdowns this half for Ohio State.
That's leadership. You know, not as like, hey, what about me? That he's just a freshman. How come I'm not getting the touches? It came to him and he was ready.
He's getting them today. Extra point is good. And the route is on. Not a good day for Hawkeye fans. An excellent day for Buckeye fans. Will Howard through the air. Emeka Egbuka. The celebration continues at the Horseshoe. Ohio State about to go to 5-0 and 2-0 in the conference, and here's what they've got coming up.
Yeah, this 4 out of 5 weeks here with Iowa, next week at Oregon, then they have a bye, then Nebraska and Penn State. That's the meat of their schedule. Then after that, you know, it's things that they can do. Purdue, at Northwestern. Oh, Indiana, that's a walkover, right? That's changed a little bit. That's the one that's changed just a little bit.
And then the one that this guy has been unable to master, Michigan. He's 1-3 against the Wolverines. But that's a long way off right now. The case at hand is that this performance in the second half is not going to hurt their number 3 in the country ranking, and depending on what happens elsewhere in the country, you never know.
Yep. And going to, this is the way you want to play going into that Oregon. And basically the game of the year in the Big Ten right here.
So Iowa, let's see if they go to the backup quarterback, Brendan Sullivan. As we take a look at the Modelo game changer, and if there was a game changer, stopping number 2 was what Ohio State wanted and meant to do, and boy, have they ever.
Yeah, they've accepted the challenge, okay? And Jim Knowles, the defensive coordinator, figured out a way to get, even though he was in nickel a lot, getting those safeties up to help stop him. But really, those defensive tackles, an area that Ohio State was worried about, they have come through inside out.
Caleb Johnson has 48 yards on 12 carries, but 28 of that came on 1 carry. He's got another one here, so he's up to around 50. As we mentioned, Brendan Sullivan in for Caden McNamara. We thought we might see him today, but we thought it would be in a running situation near the goal line, and they haven't gotten close enough for him to do that.
You know what's interesting about the big picture for Iowa? You know, Caden McNamara did not play a bad game. Maybe missed 1 big throw, okay, early in the game. But it doesn't look, at least against Ohio State, that the passing game can help the running game enough. This time now, Brendan Sullivan is more of a running quarterback. Could that open up the running game?
And here he is running with it. And he's got a big run, in fact, across midfield, all the way down to the 44-yard line.
And I don't just mean in this game. Going forward, you know, Iowa's not out of the chase. I mean, if you could finish top 3 in this league, you could be in the playoffs. But it looks to me like Iowa needs more firepower to run the ball.
And they got 30 yards on that one. Remember, their only loss coming into this one was to Iowa State, a non-conference game. This will drop them to 1-1.
I'm not putting this game all on Caden McNamara's shoulders. I think he showed up pretty well. He does not have good matchups with wide receivers.
Here's Luke Lachey, the tight end. Another catch, another shifting move, and another first down for Lachey to the 30-yard line.
Every time he tried to go to those wide receivers, the Buckeyes defensive back were too good for him.
Well, you look at the receivers at Ohio State and go, wow.
Right.
And look at Iowa's, and no offense to the guys, but they can't get separation and do some of the things Ohio State's guys can.
Now, on the good side for Iowa, they might not face another secondary this good.
That's true. All the returning talent, as Gary said earlier, for Ohio State with one mission in mind: win the Big Ten and then win the whole thing.
So I would think the jump into the neutral zone.
Full start. Offense number 85.
They're going to call it on Luke Lachey.
5-yard penalty.
I know,
Still
but
first
the
down.
Buckeye defensive line jumped in there. Did that kind of produce?
Yeah, both defensive tackles jumped.
I know.
That's the first penalty on Iowa. We said coming in, that's been something that they've been great at, their discipline over the last couple of weeks.
They are, but they needed the twofer. They needed the no penalties and no turnovers.
And they didn't get that. Caleb Johnson still running. Jenny?
You got to wonder how Jim Lachey in the Ohio State radio booth is calling that one. Guys, I want to tell you more about these two. Jim's only able to catch 3 Hawkeye games in person this season, including today. He said he'll be focused on the whole game, but obviously watching Luke down there. Now, he usually wears Ohio State logos. Today, you can see he is on all neutral. Guys, Luke was recruited by the Buckeyes, but they wanted to gray shirt him, and he said, you know what, go where you are really wanted. He knew Coach Ferentz for many years. Iowa ended up to be the perfect fit, guys.
Caleb Johnson's going to trot in with a touchdown for Iowa, as he finally got an opening, and that'll help pad his stats a little bit. 28-yard touchdown run.
Nice sneaky little play here to kind of throw that Buckeye defense and confuse them a little bit. Orbit motion behind, and then Caleb Johnson, he's the real deal. But the real deal needs blocking, too.
But the real deal is playing against some of the backup defenders on Ohio State, too. So we have to bring that into consideration. Yeah. But finally, there's no shutout.
I think he ran through Arvell Reese. They're a pretty good football player, but you're right. They do have a lot of different players in.
Extra points. Drew Stevens up and good. So at the 8:07 mark, Caleb Johnson gets in the end zone.
just enough motion coming back to kind of take those linebackers out, and that ran the safety by the play, and all of a sudden trotting into the end zone, but a little too late.
His 10th touchdown of the season, still 35-7 Ohio State. Yes, you will, Zuck, which is a little over 8 minutes away from the horseshoe. Don't forget, later in the game, it's the play of the game, presented by Jersey Mike Subs.
I felt there was momentum that Zook would say that about momentum, though. I felt that coming out.
All right, he's taking a shot.
Exactly.
Yeah. He gets the mic last.
He does. He deserves it.
Sure he does. Fair catch. Ohio State will bring it out to the 25. Their receivers today, we talked about them, how sensational they've been all year. Let's just add to it a little bit more.
So 9 catches and 4 catches in this game. That's 13. We thought there'd be about 15 to 18, and that's right where they are. 10 and 5 targets in the game. Why not, right? You got those 2 guys, those 2 great athletes. There's not a matchup in college football that those guys cannot defeat.
And their day is done, I'm sure, at the 8-minute mark. And a 35-7 advantage here at home. Quinshon Judkins in the backfield will get the carry. Ooh, and head on against Jay Higgins. It's been a battle all day long. 34, a lot of respect there. He helps Judkins up after another tackle by number 34. Down to the midway point, 4th quarter. Seth McLaughlin directing traffic there from the center spot for Ohio State on 2nd down and 9. And Judkins barrels forward for 6 or 7 more.
Jay Higgins, you got a little guy that plays middle linebacker that, and he's just playing every play.
We said to him earlier, who's your linebacker guys you watch? He says Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Luke Kuechly, Bobby Wagner, and Patrick Willis. That was his, I guess, his Mount Rushmore of linebackers. He's going to be a really, really good one. He already is.
Yeah, there's going to be guys playing middle linebacker for Iowa in the future that's going to say Jay Higgins.
That's right. That's my favorite guy. And going to be close to a 1st down.
No, did not make it.
Jalen Watson and Higgins combined on the stop. 4th down.
Wonder if Iowa, as they get the ball back here, will keep Caleb Johnson in the game. He's at 86 yards. He's gained 100 in every game this year. Do they try to get him? No one at Iowa has done it every game all season since Sean Green, all the way back, right?
Yep, 13 in a row he went. And Kirk Ferentz said, I mentioned that to Caleb the other day. It's not about just doing it 1 week, 2 weeks. It's about doing it every week.
Yeah, and I think you keep him engaged. You put 100 in this game, and you keep him engaged going forward.
Joe McGuire to punt. Legion backpedals and takes on the return across the 35 and out of bounds. With 5:43 remaining in the ball game. Next Saturday on CBS, it's a big-time matchup at 3:30 Eastern. Number 7 Penn State facing their toughest test of the year on the road at number 11 USC. We'll get you ready for kickoff starting at 2:30 with CBS College Football Kickoff presented by Honda and State Farm College Football today. Big Ten on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus as we head back to the Coliseum next week.
Speaking about pairs of running backs, Penn State has a good pair of running backs going into that game.
And they were a winner today as well. Kamari Moulton in the game. Caleb Johnson, apparently his day is done. And again, he had 2 big gainers, a 28-yarder, and then the touchdown run. Other than that, he was stuffed pretty much all day by the Ohio State defense. Second down, 4. Kamari Moulton stays in there behind Brendan Sullivan. And he's hit immediately and dropped for no gain. Caden McDonald on the stop there from the inside.
Yeah, think about this with this new 12-team playoff. In front of them are games that they can win. Looking at the schedule to start the season, everybody thought that Iowa would be favored in every game but Ohio State. So these are doable games. When you're looking forward, can Iowa run the table and get into that second or third slot in the Big Ten?
Yeah, the biggest job that Kirk Ferentz is going to have this week is keeping their heads up after what looks like a 35-7 or somewhere in their defeat here on the road. Sullivan trying to run himself out of trouble. Does momentarily, fakes the throw, and he's run out of bounds. And it brings up 4th down.
Brendan Sullivan, the transfer from Northwestern, he has played also against Ohio State as a Wildcat before, so he knows what it's like to go against these athletes. A little fake there, nicely done.
So 4th down, punting unit comes out. Reese Dakin to punt. This one backs him up to about the 8-yard line. I think one man missed, but not the second. And so with 3:33 remaining, Buckeyes have it one more time. Still to come, Adam, Aaron, Rick, and BJ share their insights on this one and bring you the day's best highlights on the CBS College Football postgame show. Back at the beginning of the game, Jenny talked about Jack Sawyer and Caleb Johnson, and Caleb Johnson not really throwing a gauntlet down. He just said, I wasn't recruited by Ohio State. I wouldn't have gone there had they asked me, but I want to beat them.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a competitor. And Jack said, yeah, well, we'll see how physical he can be today.
He said, I don't blame him for saying that, but kind of fired us off. He goes,
yeah. I want Jack with me no matter where I go. I'll tell you that right
Foxhole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Devin Brown now in the football game, I think, at quarterback.
Yep, he is. And James Peoples, the number 3 tailback, getting a little bit of work now in the final 3 minutes. Devin Brown came in for one play last week when, when Will Howard had the wind knocked out of him, came in and threw a touchdown pass. To who else? Jeremiah Smith.
I'd rather have my running back say I'm looking forward to playing against somebody instead of going, hey, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, those guys are pretty good.
Exactly.
Devin Brown, who was in a tight battle last year for the starting quarterback job and has stuck around here. Now backing up Will Howard. And Peoples' first down run. Good tough run by James. John Nestor brought him down defensively.
The true freshman getting some playing time. Remember, both Judkins and Henderson will be going to the NFL, so he's out there showing the future.
A guy that back in his junior year of high school had almost 2,000 yards rushing and 28 touchdowns.
Kind of a curtain call for the offensive line by Ryan Day, taking the first group out of the football game just prior to the 2-minute warning, letting everybody who's left here kind of give them a little bit of an ovation. Good job by that offensive line for Ohio State.
You saw the shot of Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins right next to each other on the bench. Their day a success. Their day done for now. There they are together. Our day done in 2 minutes. Brutus doing some push-ups, 35-7. With 2 minutes to go, Chip Kelly, offensive coordinator for the Buckeyes, says, I think we got this one in the books. I got my notepad, I got my iPad, I got my pens, I got my cough drops. I got everything packed in my backpack. I'm ready to head out.
Did you see the interview that he had as we look at the yardage? This is really what Chip Kelly is trying to do for Ohio State. I felt they got a little bit too finessey, too much pass offense, not having the ability to run the ball. The balance of running and passing makes Ohio State really tough to stop.
Yep, they came in averaging 308 through the air, 227 on the ground, and today they've done just about that same type of thing.
You heard Chip's answer to the question, what's the difference of being an offensive coordinator and a head coach, being up in the booth? He said, well, I can go take a leak anytime I want to.
Not quite so easy on the sideline.
That's right.
Chip, of course, was a head coach at Oregon and with the 49ers and the Eagles, and then most recently with UCLA. And now he's having, I think, more fun than ever because he's just calling ball and coaching ball and doesn't have to worry about the headaches of a head coach.
Yeah, except for distributing that ball to those guys.
Like you said, yeah, that's his biggest job, keeping everybody happy. And it's Brown on the run. Devin Brown going to try to sit down, first down, and well thought out to keep the clock running.
That's what Devin Brown brought to the table a year ago when they went with McCord. He did not get the job. He battled this year, kind of almost in the style of Will Howard, the way he plays.
And another couple snaps. And Ohio State will be 5-0. Their number 3 ranking certainly won't be tarnished today. If not improved, who knows?
Did you hear somebody from the sideline say, don't lose a yard? Ohio State knew they had rushed for over 200 yards. They didn't want to go under 200 with a delay, taking a knee and lose that 200-yard rushing.
So Ryan Day goes to 61-8 in his 6th year as the head coach. And he said, you can't take a day off. It's constant pressure. You're not allowed to have a bad day. They didn't have a bad day today. That's for sure. Will Howard in particular had a great day.
Had a so-so first half, but they finished it off pretty good.
They sure did. The third quarter was all theirs with 3 touchdowns on 3 drives. Emeka Egbuka, a big day for him. A couple of touchdown catches, as you can see Jenny chasing him down. And Jenny is with one of the stars of the game and the winning coach.
Coach, a 7-0 lead at the half, and then you were able to just take complete control. How were you able to make that change after the half and take command of this game?
Well, I thought we did a better job, in the second half of finishing off drives. We had a couple of drives that we turned the ball over. We were moving the ball well. We had 200 yards of offense, but we weren't finishing drives. Defense got some turnovers, got some short field, and then we kind of went from there. But give this guy a lot of credit. 3 touchdown catches. This guy's a warrior right here, and he came back for a reason, and I'm just really proud of the day he had.
We're going to give him some love in a second. I also want to give your defense some love because they were able to really take command of this Hawkeyes defense. A defense that you said had an identity. But what statement did your defense make today?
When you play Iowa, it's inside drill for 60 minutes, and we knew that. And so, the challenge was we're going to get some feedback on how physically tough we are. And so, we'll go back and watch the film, but there was some really good effort today, and I'll have to build on.
Congratulations, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Come over here. You had such a strong connection today with you and Will Howard. How do you continually step up in these moments and rise to the occasion?
You got to put it in during the week in practice. That's really the only way you can build confidence throughout the week is by making the plays in practice. So, me and Will had a special connection this week, and we were just making sure we were getting all the looks, doing everything we needed to do so that on Saturday when it showed up, we would make the plays.
What was the biggest difference for you from the first half to the second?
Not too much, really. I think Coach Day kind of pointed it out. We had 2 turnovers that kind of held our offense back in the first half, even though we were moving the ball. So, got into halftime, rallied the troops, and I just really told them we got to take care of the ball and then, execute when we had to. I think we were 5 for 5 in the red zone, so that's always going to be a good day.
You told me earlier that this was going to be the biggest test so far this season. Well, you guys passed with flying colors. You got a big test again next week against Oregon. How do you take this win and prepare for next week's challenge?
Yeah, you got to continue to improve week after week. If we show up the same team as we were today, next week, we might have a chance of taking a loss. So we got to improve during the week, have a really good day in practice, and we'll be good.
Congratulations. Very fun to watch.
Thank you so much.
Big day for number 2, who had 3 in the end zone today. And Ohio State rolls to their 5th victory, 2nd win of the Big Ten. Their defense almost shut out Caleb Johnson throughout the game. It's time now for our play of the game, presented by Jersey Mike Subs. And even though Emeka had 3 touchdown catches, you can't take this one away from the freshman down in the bottom of your screen, Jeremiah Smith on the fade. And another one-handed catch. And here's how Paul Keels called it for Ohio State Radio.
Smith wide to the left. First and goal, Ohio State at the Iowa 4. Will Howard under center. Gets the snap. Looks. Lost it. Left corner of the end zone. Jeremiah Smith. One-handed grab for a score as he shoves the defender away from him. Jeremiah Smith with another magical catch. Fighting corner to Sean Lee in the corner of the end zone. And the Buckeyes lead 13-0.
Great call, Paul. And a resounding win for the Buckeyes, the number 3 team in the country. It's going to wrap it up for us from the Horseshoe. For Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell, Gene Steratore, our entire CBS crew, Brad Nessler saying so long from the Horseshoe. Final score, Ohio State 35, Iowa 7. Tonight on CBS begins with Tracker, followed by back-to-back episodes of 48 Hours. We'll send you back to Adam Zucker and company for the CBS College Football postgame show right after these messages. 35-7 Buckeyes roll. We'll see you next week back at the Coliseum with Penn State and USC and another big-time Big Ten game. See you then.